Hello to the people of YouTube land. This video is about objective morality versus theism, or why everybody, including atheists, should think that morality is objective. There is something on which theists and atheists agree. It's a miracle. It's common for theists to say that objective morality requires the existence of God. Some atheists say that theists are right about this, but that objective morality doesn't exist, so it doesn't constitute an argument for God. Both of these positions are wrong. Morality is objective, and it does not have, and cannot have, anything to do with God. Objective morality is about how to make choices. Some ways of making choices are better than others. In his dialogue Euthyphro, Plato made an argument that showed that objective morality can't have anything to do with God or gods. In that dialogue, Socrates argues with a chap called Euthyphro about whether morality is the set of standards the gods agree on. And he points out that there's a problem. If morality is the set of standards the gods agree on for some reason other than that they just happen to like those standards, then justice has nothing to do with the gods. It's all about these standards that the gods endorse because they're actually good. If there is no independent standard, then morality is just the whim of the gods. This means that morality is subjective. It's just the whim of the biggest, baddest bully. So, objective morality can't have anything to do with God or gods or whatever. Some atheists say that Hume argued that you can't get an ought from an is, and so morality can't be objective. However, none of our knowledge is derived from facts. All knowledge is conjecture, controlled by criticism. It's not based on anything or derived from anything. So, in this respect, more knowledge is no different from our knowledge of physics, say. Many atheists say that morality is not objective because it requires the existence of agents. It may be the case that morality can't arise without agents, but this is irrelevant. The issue is not whether morality exists without agents, the issue is whether there is any rational way to resolve moral disagreements. There is a way to do this: moral arguments. Some people think this doesn't work, partly because they are bad at argument. Some atheists say that people disagree about morality and so it's not objective. Taken seriously, this would imply that physics is not objective because people disagree about it. This argument makes the tacit and completely false assumption that morality is about moral sentiments. But it's not. A man might decide that he shouldn't stalk a woman even if he wants to. He has two conflicting moral sentiments, and how he resolves that dispute can't be explained by invoking his sentiments. Now, sometimes it's a bad idea to follow a particular moral rule that people commonly accept, and this is sometimes used as an argument against objective morality. Most people would say it's a bad idea to lie, but if a man comes to your door and asks where Jim is because he wants to torture Jim to death, lying might be the right course of action. The "it's a bad idea to lie" rule is a good rule of thumb, and we can explain why it's a good rule of thumb, and why it should sometimes be broken. It's a good rule of thumb because you don't know all the consequences of a lie, but you might get caught, and that would make it more difficult for others to cooperate with you. At the same time, telling the truth when somebody comes to your door wanting to kill someone, that also makes it difficult for people to cooperate with you. So there is objective morality about lying. It's just not simple enough to be captured in the simple rule that you should never lie. Part of morality has to be about how to discover better explanations. First, the better you are at improving your factual explanations, the better you will be at making decisions, because you won't be making them based on bad information. Second, if you have more good moral ideas in common with Alice than with Bob, you'll be able to cooperate more easily with Alice. The best way to get more agreement on good moral ideas is to come up with good moral explanations. The only way to get more agreement other than good explanations is to exploit anti-rational ideas that prevent a person from improving his ideas. And this is bad, because it leads to ideas not being improved when they could be. Both theists and atheists seem to think that free will has something to do with God. Because if God doesn't exist, we're all just a bunch of atoms, or something like that. But a person is not just a bunch of atoms. He is a bunch of atoms that is organized in such a way that he can create new explanatory knowledge. You can choose to seek out better ideas about how to act because you have the capacity to create the necessary knowledge. A potted plant or stone can't do this, but you can. So you're different from a stone, you have free will. Theists often say that if God doesn't exist, then it doesn't matter what we do. But they're wrong. The vast majority of people in human history have lived much worse lives, in every sense, than almost anybody alive in the West today. We can cooperate with one another more easily because we've abolished some bad ways of behaving, such as slavery and rape. Our continued existence and the extent to which we will change the future of the universe depends on what knowledge we create, and so depends on our behaviour. But why should I care? I hear the atheist cry. Why should it matter to me that morality is objective? If the world is comprehensible, any problem can be solved, and so any moral problem can be solved. When you make a bad decision, it's always possible for you to learn to do better. This includes moral disagreements. If you get fired or have a fight with your girlfriend and you feel hurt, there's something you could do to avoid a repetition of that problem. If any part of your life seems unsatisfactory, there is a way to improve it. But I'm not convinced. Well, okay. Why wouldn't you be convinced about this? First argument you might think of is that if the world is incomprehensible, then the stuff I said in the previous slide could just all be wrong. However, if the world is incomprehensible, then there's inexplicable stuff, and that's similar in substance to saying that God controls the inexplicable stuff and moves in mysterious ways. So it is at least as bad a position as theism. If morality is not objective, then all success is basically inexplicable. If the West has no moral knowledge about how to create new technology, then its success at doing so can't be explained. If morality is not objective, in addition, there are no arguments that should ever change any person's behaviour. For example, no theist is under any obligation to change his position when any theist refutes his position. Now, when you come up with a position that says that nobody should adopt your position, it begins to seem a bit silly. Objective morality has nothing to do with God. Arguments against objective morality are all a result of misunderstandings. Objective morality is about how to make better decisions. Objective morality has something to do with epistemology. You need to know stuff to make good decisions. If you make better decisions, that makes a difference to your life and the lives of others.